before seeing Phil. She pulled out a post-it notepad and wrote, "Call Stefan for a CW and BD," then gathered her purse and backpack and walked to the door. But as Tracie walked down the Times hallway, she was stopped by Beth Conte, eye-roller extraordinaire. "Marcus has been looking for you," Beth hissed. Even though Tracie knew Beth was a drama queen, her stomach took a little dive, and the coffee in it didn't like the plunge. The two of them kept walking toward Tracie's cubicle. "He's on the warpath," Beth added unnecessarily. "Is that term politically correct?" Tracie asked Beth. "Or would it be considered a slur on Native Americans? Putting Marcus in any ethnic group would be a slur on them." "What is he, anyway?" Beth asked her as the two of them hurried along the corridor. "He's not Italian-American, I know that," she added, putting up her hands as if to defend her own ethnic background. "He sprang from Zeus's forehead," Tracie conjectured as they turned the last corner and entered her cubicle at last. "Zeus's forehead?" Beth echoed. "Is Marcus Greek? What are you talking about?" Tracie took off her raincoat, hung it on the hook, and stowed her purse under the desk. "You know, like Diana, or was it Athena?" "Princess Diana?" Beth asked, wrong and one beat behind, as usual. This was what happened if you talked Greek mythology with Beth before 10 a.m. Or after 10 a.m. Tracie took off her sneakers, threw them under her desk, and rooted around for her office shoes. She was about to explain her joke when the doorway to her cubicle was darkened by Marcus Stromberg's bulky form. Tracie pulled her head out from under her desk and hoped he hadn't had more than a few seconds' look at her butt. She pushed her feet into her pumps. Facing Marcus barefoot was more than she could bear. "Well, thanks for the lead," Beth squeaked and slipped out of the cubicle. Tracie gave Marcus her best "I graduated cum laude" smile and sat down as coolly as she could. She refused to be cowed by Marcus. He wasn't so tough. He was a much smaller bully than all the men that her dad worked with back in L.A. He wasn't even as big a bully as her father. Just because Marcus had hoped one day to be Woodward or Bernstein and had wound up only being Stromberg was no fault of hers. "How kind of you to drop in," Marcus said, looking down at his wristwatch. "I hope it didn't interfere with your social schedule." Marcus had a habit of acting as if she considered herself some kind of debutante. "You'll have the profile by 4, Tracie told him calmly. "I told you that yesterday." "So I recall, but as it happens, I also need you to do a feature today." Shit, as if she didn't have enough work to do. "On what?" Tracie asked, trying to appear unconcerned. "Mother's Day. I need it good and I need it by tomorrow." Tracie's beat included interviewing high-tech moguls and moguls-to-be, but like everyone else, she was occasionally given other assignments. To make matters worse, Marcus had an uncanny knack of assigning the very story that would ruin your day. To Lily, an overweight but talented writer, he'd always assigned stories about gymnasiums, anorexia, beauty pageants, and the like. To Tim, who tended to be a hypochondriac, he'd assigned stories on new hospital wings, treatments. Somehow he always found their weakness, even when it wasn't as obvious as Tim's and Lily's. Since Tracie rarely saw her family and didn't particularly like holidays, she was usually stuck covering the special occasions. And Mother's Day. Her mother had died when Tracie was 4 1/2. Her father had long ago remarried, divorced, and remarried. Tracie could barely remember her mother and tried to forget her current stepmom. She considered Marcus's square jaw and the beard, which, to be accurate, should be called 10 a.m. shadow. "What's the angle?" Tracie queried. "Or can it be a sensitive essay on how I plan to spend Mother's Day?" Marcus ignored her. "How Seattle celebrates its mothers. Mention a lot of restaurants, florists, and any other advertisers you can stuff into it. 900 words by tomorrow morning. It'll run on Sunday." God, 900 words by tomorrow would kill any chances of fun with Phil tonight. Tracie looked at Marcus again. His curly dark hair, his ruddy skin, his small blue eyes, and wished, not for the first time, that he wasn't good-looking as well as totally obnoxious. Looks aside, Tracie made it a policy that she'd never give Marcus the satisfaction of knowing he'd upset her. So in keeping with her policy, she merely smiled. She knew that would bug him, so she tried to make it a debutante smile. "As you wish," said Wesley to the princess, she added. "You're the only princess around here," Marcus grumbled, and he turned and took himself off to